Hello everyone and welcome to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to see what I have going on my table. Today I'm doing this a little earlier than I anticipated, so I'm so excited about it. I am working on my disappearing 4-patch. So, I actually had it here and I'm like, I really wanted to get something else started. So now I'll have 3 things that I'm working on, pretty big things. I don't think this one is going to take too long to do, but I will have the tutorial that I used tagged down in the description. If you would like to print it out, I did print it out, but it's just a tutorial with slides that I just printed out. And it's really simple once you get that first block done to know how to do it. But what I'm using is 1 charm pack of Kitty Christmas. Got my Kitty Christmas charm pack. And then I had some, I don't know what to call it, spare yardage on hand. It was just, I didn't have very much of it left, maybe a yard. And just of this cream color. There is some little designs on that. I know you really can't see it, but I just used my Achy quilt and cut out 5-inch squares. I don't know how many I have. I think I have a little over 40. So I have about the same amount of, well, no, I have more of the whites than I do the Kitty Christmases. So what we are going to start doing, first off, I've got to get my label off here, and we're just going to get our Kitty Christmas, and I got to move my bin here so I can throw away. And we're going to make a 4-patch. We're going to do 2 colors, and I am going to mix these up. I don't want the same colors on every single square. So I've got some pinks, I've got some reds, and I think what I'm going to do is just kind of lay them down here in my tray. I'll show y'all. I keep my little tray over here to the side, and I've got things like that I may need in it, like my scissors, my clips. I need to put some of this up here on the table with me because I have to use it. So I'm going to separate my colors out so I'm not using the same colors in every single square. So got some blue. It looks like I may have some whites also, but I don't know how well those whites are going to blend. They'll probably be fine as long as they have a design on them, because you know this other one is a white with no design. Well, it's got a design, but it's white on white. And what I mean by design, like this one right there, that'll be a good one, you know. But I'm just going to do random pickings here. It looks like I have some grays and blacks, but not many of either one of those. So I'm just going to start by getting 2 color squares and then 2 white squares. And this fabric here it's a little different than this one. It's a little rougher. I don't know if that is, maybe it's a different type of fabric. I don't know. It's in my spare fabric bin, so I don't know. But I do have to make sure I'm working on the correct side. So what I'm going to do, which I could probably do this without picking it. I could just pick one color and just go all of them, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit here and be selective. I'm just going to get all of my print squares and put them like sides together or front sides together and sew them together with that white fabric. We're going to do all of our squares that way, but we're going to just sew all of our prints to the white on this step. I'm hoping to be able to get all of these done in this sit down. Now, it may not be, I may not get the full quilt done, but if I do get it all done today, I will edit the video down to where you guys get a full quilt in one go around. But I don't think I will get it all done today. And that will be okay, because this could just be another sew along that we're bringing on. Even though this is going to end up being a baby quilt, because I think the tutorial actually shows us using 36 squares. And that, you know, that's almost a full charm pack. So I'm not sure, you know, we'd have 4 to 6 squares left over. That really wouldn't be enough to make a border. But I'm thinking about going and getting some yardage maybe of a coordinating fabric with this, the Kitty Christmas, to make a border out of. Because it shows that they used the white to make a border. I do have some white yardage over there that I can use if I wanted to. I can make a white border on one, and because I'm thinking about making 2 of these, one for each one of my grandbabies, and not make it a quilt per se, but put Minky on it, because we really don't have cold winters here. What does that look like? That's the front. Because it is. Okay, I'm already having to pull stuff out. A day in the life. That is what it definitely is. I thought I looked at it and I thought I had it turned correctly, but I didn't. It's so, when you have a white on white, it is so hard to tell, or for me, it is so hard to tell which side is the front and which side is the back. So, but it's okay. All I have to do is just do this and get my little tip of my ripper and just get all them little threads out the way there. Make sure I don't have any on the back here. And we're just going to flip it and get it on here. And guys, I think this week what y'all are going to see is what I worked over the weekend. I'm hoping to do that, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I'm hoping I get a lot of sewing done this weekend. It is Saturday while I'm sewing. And it may not be Saturday. Okay, I was wondering why my fabric seemed to be going corkscrewed, and I'll catch that in a second. And that could be why it was doing this yesterday as well. This right here, I didn't have it down. And that does make a world of difference in how this machine sews. It sews so differently without that. I think they call it a dual control foot. It makes such a difference in how the machine sews. Yep, there it goes. It's working now. But my goal today, my son may come and visit, so I don't know if this is what I'm going to do all day. But my goal today, since I got up early this morning and I watched Sean's live with Ginger on there. I think that's her name. Yeah, I believe that's her name, Ginger. And I worked on my grandma's scrap quilt this morning. Y'all saw that this past Sunday. And I was trimming my squares down. If you watched my sew along, I said, you know, some of my things were cut out, I thought, at a different size. And I'm pretty certain they were. I'm pretty certain I cut them off at, instead of like 4.5 inches or something like that, I cut them at 4 inches. I don't remember exactly what the size was. It wasn't 4. It was like 7.5 or 7 or 6.5 or 7. I can't remember exactly which one it was. The 7.5 inch. I think I did it 7. The ones that I made into the hourglass blocks. Well, y'all, when I trim them down, it was perfect. It didn't matter that was the wrong size. It was perfect. So, while I was listening to Sean and Ginger sew, and we all chit-chatted, I was here just steadily trimming my blocks, you know, after I had already sewn them. Because I have a process. When I sew, I like to edit and then upload. And while I'm uploading or something like that, I'll be sewing on it still, or pressing, or whatever I need to do. Things that y'all don't really want to see or have to see. You know, you get the gist in the hour, most of the time hour long. I think this time this one was only like 45 minutes. But I was trimming them, getting them ready, and they turned out really well. So I had gotten them all pressed and got them all trimmed. So next week, or this week, so this upcoming Sunday, what you will see is me starting to assemble that quilt, which I am so excited to get on. The assembly part, because I just love seeing how they come together, you know, just how a pattern comes together. And if you didn't catch it, Friday, Katie and I, we kind of did a interview type video for you guys. We had so much fun on it. She is Greenland Quilter. It is tagged to me. I'm tagged in it. She's tagged in it. If I can think, I did put it in on my community tab. I tagged the video in there. But we had so much fun doing that. And Katie, that was fun. If you're watching, I had so much fun doing that. I love these quick questionnaire kind of things. It was almost like 20 questions. And then rapid fire. You know, it was just really fun. But we had a good time doing that. I'm trying to stay very interactive with social media. It's very hard for me to do because I do work a full 40-hour job a week, and sometimes it gets to be a little difficult to keep up with everything. But now that I feel like I'm getting back to 100%, probably even better than 100% than I was before. I'm feeling really good today. So, and it's a beautiful day outside. Mild temperatures right now. It's like upper 80s right now. Saturday morning, it hadn't hit 100 degrees yet today. But yesterday evening, I think it stayed in the mid to lower 90s with a breeze. So if we get a breeze, it's a good day. But anyway, my plan today is to sew all day unless my son and daughter-in-law come over. They had mentioned they may come over because he is now ex-military, and he wanted to come get his pew-pews since if he had carried his pew-pews with him where he was stationed, he would have had to register all of it. It was just a lot of paperwork, and how he saw it, he had plenty of pew-pews there to play with. And his father-in-law and brother-in-law, they all go to a shooting range. And they just do practice and stuff. And, you know, like you said, he needs to protect his family. So he wanted to come get his pew-pews. And yes, here in the South, he got his first pew-pew, I think, when he was 8 years old. We got him his first little hunting pew-pew. And here lately, we have had a black bear in the neighborhood. And they've not traveled this far west. It's not uncommon to see them on the east side of our parish, but one was actually spotted and photographed, like where my house is, straight across from the road from my house, there is a field, a cotton field, cornfield, whatever they planted that season, is a field. And right past that field is a road, and then there's another field. Well, there is a photo of the bear on that field, and then someone had mentioned they had seen the bear like 3 houses down from me. I say 3 houses down, but really we're not that close here. I'm going to say half a mile down the road from me. One of our neighbors said he saw the bear at that neighbor's house in the back going through the neighbor's garbage. So now I can't put my garbage out until the morning of pickup because a bear may get into it. And I definitely do not want to bring a bear here because I go out and work in my garden sometimes at night with the lights off of my truck. I'll turn my vehicle where I could work in my garden, and Lord behold, if I came up on a bear working in my garden, they'd find me there the next morning if the bear didn't eat me up, because I'd pass out probably from fear. I don't know. I have a dog out there. She's in a pen, but that pen is just more so for a deterrent for people, because that pen is not holding her in. It's just kind of there so people think, oh, she's in a pen, or, you know, she's not going to hurt me. And she won't. She's a good dog. She won't hurt unless she thinks one of us is going to be hurt. She'll bark and stuff, but she's a good dog. We actually have 2, but one of them we won't put in the big pen because we call one of them Mama and one of them Girl. They were strays. They really don't have a name because just don't. And Girl Dog, she's really good. She's smart dog. But she's like a pit bull mix. And I don't know. I was not raised with pets, but my husband, had one when we started dating, and she was massive. I was terrified of her, but she was a baby doll. You know, she was a good dog, but we don't have her. She was never able to be here at my house because my insurance won't allow it. And that's what I keep telling my husband. We need to find this other one a home. But she really is a good dog. When I go to my garden, I'll sit down out at the garden, and she'll come out there, and she'll want me to pet, and she'll just come and sit right by me in my chair. And she drinks the water from the irrigation because she knows I cut it on when I go out there. Our irrigation has where you can do a manual cut on, because our irrigation is on a timer, and it runs for 30 minutes in the evening time, and it doesn't really require that much. So all of my beds are, you know, container bed, raised beds is what they're called, raised beds. So I have water like overflowing out there, and she'll come drink the water out of that. And not that she don't have fresh water in her house. She just likes it out of the water hose, I guess. But she'll come sit over there, and then she'll go rolling around in it. Now, she don't have rolling around water, because I don't like the big mess that creates. But so I imagine if one of those little kiddie pools that I got flowers growing in. Yes, I grow in kiddie pools also. I have marigolds, zinnias, and purple basil growing in kiddie pools. Oh, and shampoo ginger and cucumbers. That's what I have growing in kiddie pools. My cucumbers that I had to reseed because the other ones that I had purchased, the starts that I had purchased, those were awful, y'all. They were called burpless. They were awful. They were so bitter. It didn't matter what stage you picked them at. They were bitter. So, and the inside had no flavor at all. It didn't taste like a cucumber, really, to me. So, and you couldn't preserve them. You couldn't ferment them or anything like that, because then they would get mushy because they had an enzyme in them that actually stopped you from being able to do that. It would just make them mush. So, but I planted some National Pickling cucumbers because I do want to make some fermented cucumbers, and I do want to put up, now of course it would have to be dill. I can't do anything with sugar, and just about nobody in my family likes dill pickles. I know my dad won't eat dill pickles. My aunt, she don't eat dill pickles. But me, I like pickles. I like the crunchy. And I'm really getting to where I like the fermented ones really good too. I guess it's the kind that my mom's mom always made, was fermented pickles, because they kind of have the same taste. And to me, a fermented pickle has more of the cucumber flavor than it does like a pickled flavor. Which is fine with me. So, because I'll actually take cucumbers and have cucumbers and onions and put some vinegar and pepper. And I do cucumbers, tomatoes, and onions. Now, used to, I would put just a little bit of sugar in it, but I don't do that anymore because I can't have the sugar. But, y'all, this is going pretty quick when you just do it like this. Just take one charm pack, and you could even get like some Bella solid charm packs, and just get one solid color if you wanted to do this. 2 charm packs, you know, one of a print and one of a solid, and you've got a 4-patch quilt. Now, like I said, this is going to be a baby size quilt. I will have to get the minky fabric for these, and so I won't be quilting this per se, but I will do some kind of stitch to, you know, attach the 2 pieces to where they don't, you know, come apart when used. And because I have a minky blanket, well, I don't have it anymore. I got rid of it because I couldn't stand it, that I got in a subscription box, my FabFitFun box, and one side was real soft like minky and one side was chenille or something like that, and the 2 pieces were not connected anywhere, so it was like you had one piece here and one piece here, and they were just sewn around the edge. I could not stand that blanket. I know I could have taken it to my machine and done it, but I was like, nope, I just got rid of it. I donated it because I did not like that. That was not for me. I like a blanket it can be soft with, you know, without a lot of quilting on it, but it needs something to hold the 2 pieces together so they're not slipping and going everywhere. So you got a blanket that is even on you. I just don't like that when they're all wonked out like that. Yeah, I just love this print. Look at that. The little kitty cats on that. That is so pretty. I was thinking about making my grandson one, and the one for my granddaughter putting pink minky on it. And then my grandson doing a gray minky for his. And that way they could have little soft blankets here for Christmas. Or quilts, if you want to say that. I may quilt the minky on, but it's not going to have batting in it. But it's also not going to have a very heavy quilting on it either. I may do something like a diagonal 5 inches and just do it like that, just to hold the minky and all together. But this is definitely... Now, I know the cutting part is going to take a little while because when I did the test block for y'all last week, the cutting did take some time. But this part, the assembling of the 2 charm, or I'm going to say 2 charm packs, even though I'm not using a charm pack, you can very well use 2 charm packs. And this pattern for sure is going to get me into buying solid charm packs. I have one solid charm pack, and I used part of it for another project, and I only have a few pieces of it, or I would have used it for this, but I didn't have enough to use for this. I don't know that I want that piece. They don't have any color in it. I don't want just black. I want some Christmassy colors. But my grandbabies, it's no telling how many blankets or quilts I'm going to have made for them by Christmas time. I'm probably going to end up having to sell some of them because we just don't need that many quilts, even though I like making them. So it's just, I don't know. And the funny thing, y'all, I have not even been putting labels on anything that I finished. And I need to get better about that because I haven't ordered my labels. I was going to order labels and just never did. And, you know, And I don't want to do an embroidery label. I just want to do a quick little satin label. But I was trying to think what to put on it, you know, if I did just a little satin label. Because I'd have to, you know, if I do it for my grandbaby, I want to tell them I made it for them. And so I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, then I got a solid white one. I'm not going to use that one. It's a white on white. I'm not going to use the white on white. I'm probably not going to use... I don't need but 36 of them, and I know I'm already over my 36. So this we may go on and make this a sew-along as well. It can be a short sew-along, you know, just do one step at a time. But I'm going to say right now, I'm not using 3 pieces. I'm not using, that's gray and black, no Christmassy colors. And that's a white on white. And that's just got a really small, so I don't think that would stand out real well. So what we have now is all of our charm pack done, where we've just attached it to a white. And I'm going to just trim them apart. And our next step is where we will be pinning them together and sewing them. I do pin all my blocks together just to try to get that center where all the seams come together. I want that to match up really well. So when I go to cut it, everything is even. Everything works. Because that does make a difference in your block. If your center seam does not come together perfectly, your side seams are not either. They will not match. So the more closely or close that you can get those seams to match and get that to come at a perfect crossing there. Now, are all of mine perfect? Absolutely not. All of them are not. But that is one thing that I did find. The closer you can get it to come together, the better it is. And the only way for me to do that is if I pin it. Because I'm not a good eyeballer, feeler, whatever. I can't hold that seam together to be nice and tight and right. So I just pin. So what I'll probably do after I get this done for our next part of it, what I'll probably do is go on and pin, you know, pick my pieces that I want to 4-patch together, and I'll pin them, but then I'll come back and sew them with you guys. And that way I have just that little bit more out of the way. And y'all know how to nest a seam. And if you don't, it's very easy. I will show you how to do that on the next video. But here are all of our charm square pieces minus the 3, which, you know, that's going to make me be off, and I won't have exactly a 4-patch. But I only need, when I looked at it, I think I have 16 squares, and 16 times 2 is 32, so I only needed 32 of the squares. For some reason, I was thinking 36, but all I needed was 32. So I've got more than enough here, so we will be good. So, guys, thank you so much for coming and joining me today. I hope the chit-chat was good, because all I did was just sew a charm square to another charm square and just chit-chatted a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Let me know if you'd like to do this with me. I will put a sew-along post in my Facebook group. That will be linked down below in the description. And I will just put on there Kitty Christmas 4-patch sew along, so you know what it is. I'll make a post, and I'll post some pictures out there for you. So leave a comment, tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally, and as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day and a very great rest of your week. Goodbye.